Asai Enai El Haharim Me'ayin Yavo Ezri. Ezri Me'im Adonai Aseh Shamayim Ba'aretz. Al Yitein Namot Raglecha, Al Yunun Shomrecha. Hinei Lo Yanun V'Lo Yishan Shomer Yisrael. Adonai Shomrecha, Adonai Tzidcha Al Yad Yeminecha. Yomam Hashemesh Lo Yekeka, V'Yarech B'Layla. Adonai Yishmarcha Mikol Ra. Yishmor et nafshecha. Adonai yishmar tzeita v'lecha, ve'ata v'ad olam. I lift up mine eyes unto the mountains, from whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord, maker of heaven and earth. The Lord will not let your foot give way, your protector will not slumber. See the protector of Israel, neither slumbers nor sleeps. The Lord is your guardian. He is your protection at your right hand. The sun shall not strike thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will guard you from all harm. He will guard your soul, your going and your coming, now and forever. Laugh and to pay tribute as we remember our dear Henry Falb, Pesco ben Shlomo Vachaya. As much of the family spoke of Henry, there are many things that came to mind. Here are two overarching thoughts. In the book, Man's Search for Meaning, which was written by Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl, he addressed crucial questions which each of us must face today, relating to the concept of control. We know this because we often say to ourselves, in my life there are things I cannot control. And I know that. So what are the things I can control? Am I just passing through this life like a leaf blowing in the wind, or a fallen leaf blowing down on a stream? Or can I control my flight? Can I control my direction? Can I control my trajectory? Well, we can control the trajectory of our lives. The answer is yes, and the answer is no. Yes, you can control your life, and no, you may not be able to control your life, but you can control, yes, how you respond to your life. Frankl brings another insight. During the Holocaust, his life before the camps and his life in the camps, having survived it, he said in Auschwitz and in every other camp, the Nazis controlled virtually everything the Jew did. When they woke up, when they ate, or if they did not eat, when they relieved themselves, where they stood, when and where they lined up, when they lived, and when they died. The Nazis controlled virtually everything. the one thing the Nazis could not control. The one thing the Nazis could not control is how the Jew reacted. No matter what, the response was entirely up to the person. That's a powerful lesson. If people in a time like that, then we in our time should have control over our responses, verbally and emotionally and physically. Too often our emotions get the best of us. We fool ourselves into thinking that every disagreement is a fight to the death. Every problem is just the seed of some issue. Give it a little bit of time. Give it some time and it'll reveal itself as, a life and death issue. For your dear Henry, there were things he could not control. But the things he did control, the way he responded to you, that was the blessing he gave you. He was kind. He was a gentle soul. He had a smile. And make no mistake, he controlled how he responded and how he behaved. And those loving interactions were the way he wanted. He adored you. He loved you. Henry Falb had a hard start to his life. He was born in Zamosc, Poland, outside of Warsaw, October 12, 1929. His parents of blessed memory, Shlomo and Chaya Falb. He was one of 8, all now of blessed memory. Sisters Masha, Malka, Krezel, Sucha. Did the one from Philly make it? Yeah. You? Why not? Sorry. Glad you made it. His brother Shia, and then there was Henry, and then another unknown brother died in World War II. All of his family died of natural causes. After the war, he spent 4 years in Italy trying to get to America. He was in a refugee resettlement camp. He learned to cook and to become an electrician. Who knew? And then he became an electrician. He came to America at the age of 19, somewhere 1949, 1950. On September 12, 1954, Henry and Sarah married in the Cleveland Marmashire building. They were blessed with 3 children, 5 grandchildren, and 9 great-grandchildren. If I make a mistake, correct me. Cecily, Madeline, Stuart, Cecily's significant other, Rick, Madeline, Leo, Stuart, Ann. Grandchildren, Laura, Michael, Brian, Andrea, Jamie. Michael and Jessica, Brian and Diane, Andrea and Nick, Jamie and Matt. The great-grandchildren, Madison, Hunter, Taylor and Zachary, Bennett, Sophia, AJ, Benjamin, Aaliyah. Among the grandchildren's generation, Andrea and Laura remember, and for all. He always had a smile on his face. He was survived. He had a stroke 17 years ago and he never complained. He was a warm man and a gentle soul. And his children recalled, and there's so much beautiful overlap of the recollections. Henry loved to cook big pots of soup, and he would share them. He was a quiet, gentle soul. He never really yelled at anyone. Everyone just adored him. And Madeline said, I adored him. He was always, you were first when you walked in the door. He hugged you and he kissed you. He would go beyond helping people. He would give and give and give. Vacations. We went to Israel, I think at least 4 trips. My first one was when I was 9. He always went the extra yard for everyone. He would do anything for you. He was a mensch. He had a good neshama, a good soul. He was the youngest, and he was adored. And everyone adored my father. He taught people He was very patient. Sometimes he was dealing with somebody who wasn't so smart. He didn't make that person feel bad. He was patient. It's one of the most important traits, and it's a hard trait. I adore him. He taught me how to cook soup too. Stuart, you said our father came from a very humble background. He came here basically with nothing. No language, no skill set. I cannot imagine it. He came here and made a life for us, and he made it easier for us. He never complained about it. I have an appreciation for his efforts. Poland at the time of our ancestors, they were between a rock and a rock. They were between Germany and they were between Russia. The family stories are many. One which I remember is he was on a train with his mother, Chaya. He was about 12 years old. The train stopped. He got off to find some food because they were hungry. And then the train left without him. And that was the last time he saw his mother. He was like a people collector in the sense that he really enjoyed the simple things in life and being with other people. He was blessed with a skill set to develop and collect relationships with other people. He worked with people from all backgrounds. He was so authentic. And I have to say, the reason our father lived this long is because our sister Cecily. Her unselfishness is amazing. I could never have done that. She was like an angel. For 12 years. She put her life on hold. And Cecily, you said of your dear father, he was kind, he was gentle, he smiled with his eyes. He liked to gamble. He loved the slots, which was the tie. He loved the slots. I would say, Dad, do you want to go to the casino? And he would smile right away. He loved playing the penny slots. Did he win much or no? How much do you win with pennies? It's all gone. He gambled it all away. You've got a penny?
I found it in this pocket.
That is beautiful. Invest that penny. In a slot base. When you get older, you're too young for that. He loved playing them. Mom and Dad were members of the Jewish War Veterans, also the Auxiliary, and the Hebrew Benevolent Society. He's been in assisted living for about 12 years, and the staff is distraught. He had a stroke and a heart attack and etc. Finally, he was so loved in the assisted living. Finally, when he passed, Cecily said it was my blessing to be with him. He breathed his last on October 14th. Just 2 days after his birthday. I just realized he was married on the 12th of September. He was born on the 12th of October. Maybe that was an age to try to remember. I mean, if you're married, they're only married 67 years. You can forget after a little while. But, how beautiful. Just 2 days after his 92nd birthday. Now there's no more pain or deterioration of his body, or his mind, or anything. There's just rest and wholeness and peace. Just as Shabbat, just as Shabbos is a time of rest, so too for your dear Henry, it's a time of rest and peace. His soul is returning to God and be with the souls of his relatives and his friends and the ancestors of our people. We learn this in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 7. The dust returns to the earth as it was. The spirit returns to God. So the place is body in the ground, and the spirit returns to God. Judaism teaches that one day all of our souls will be together in Olam Haba. Olam Haba is a time, it's an eternal time. This is a place, but Olam Haba is not a place. It is a time, it's an eternal time. You have many, many memories. Many, many memories. And we give thanks to God for this gift of life. As you think of Henry, you should do things which bring honor to his memory. Things like making soup. Things like smiling. Things like being helpful to others. Maybe even the penny slots, or maybe even. But if you win, give some money to tzedakah. Tzedakah is charity. It's an important thing to do. Do these things in his loving memory. His Yiddish name is Heskel. Heskel has a couple of meanings. Wise, wisdom, and also from the Hebrew, Yehezkel, Ezekiel, which means God is my strength. This good and decent man embodied both of those. He was wise, he lived and is an example of wisdom for others, and with God's strength, Henry lived a Jewish life, which serves as an example for you and your loved ones and your descendants and your friends and your acquaintances. And so we must say with tears in our eyes and with heavy hearts from the book of Job, chapter 1. Adonai natan v'Adonai lakach, yehi shem Adonai mevarach. The Lord hath given, the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Amen. Oseh shalom bimroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. May God, who causes peace to reign in the high heavens, cause peace to rain down upon us, upon all Israel, upon the soul of our dearly departed Henry Falb. Let us say Amen. You'll have to take this over there with me. I can't do Amalei Rachamim like that today. So I'll move over here. Will you please rise?
Wherever you wish to go.
I'm going to go right here. Into your care, O God, we entrust the spirit of our dear Heskel ben Shlomo B'chai, our dear Henry Falb. For you keep faith with your children in death as in life. Sustain us that we may meet with serenity the mysteries that lie ahead, knowing that when we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you, O God, are with us, a loving friend in whom we put our trust. You are the light of our life, our hope in eternity. Emalei Rachamim, Shofet Bamromim, Ametzeh Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei Hashchina, Im Kedoshim U'Tohorim, Shezohar Rakia Mazirim, Et Nishmat Heskel ben Shlomo B'chaya, Shalach Le'olamo, Ba'al HaRachamim, Yastirem V'Seitzeh K'nafav Le'olamim, Vayitzror B'Tzror HaChaim, Et Nishmato, Adonai Unachanato, V'yanuach B'Shalom al Mishkavo, V'nomar Amen. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to our dear Henry Falb. He has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let him find refuge in the shadow of your wings, and let his soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is his inheritance. May he rest in peace, and let us say Amen. And we sanctify God's name as we recite the Kaddish. Shemei Rabbah. Ba'alma divrach v'rutei v'yamelich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chay l'chol Beit Yisrael. B'agalah v'zman kari v'yimru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabam Uvarach Le'olam U'Lamei Maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Kudusha B'richu. Le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata da'amiran ba'alma v'yimeru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shmaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru Amen. Oseh Shalom b'imromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru Amen. May God send peace, who causes peace to reign in the high heavens, cause peace to rain down upon us, upon all Israel, upon the soul of our dearly departed Henry Falb, and let us say, Amen. And now we will escort his body to its final resting place. Each of us has the opportunity, mitzvah, to place earth upon the casket. Lech Ushilach Adonai, go your way, for God has called you. Lech Adonai Yemimach, go your way, and may God be with you. V'halach lefanecha tzidkecha, kavod Adonai yasvecha. May your righteousness go before you, and may the glory of God receive you. Everyone not wearing a ribbon, please keep your attention and speaking unto the Lord. May God console you with all who mourn in Zion and Jerusalem. We will recite Kaddish for the next month, for the Shloshim, for the next month, for Henry. Every Friday night our service is at 7:30. Every Wednesday afternoon the kids see what the reps of the Kaddish and the Henry. Every Sunday morning we're just going getting more reps of the Kaddish and we'll say Kaddish for Henry. And in our congregation we'll say Kaddish for Henry every day for the next Shloshim, for the next 2 days. And this concludes our service here at the cemetery. And we are going for a Shiva meal. Everybody knows where we're going? Acacia, right. And so we will go there and we'll light the Shiva candle.